Hello guys and welcome back to another rebuild on the channel. Today we are AS Monaco in the French division, first division, and the ultimate goal of this save is to, within 5 seasons, is to beat PSG to the league title, because we all know how hard that is. It is an impossible challenge, so we've got 5 seasons to try and win the league over PSG, and that is that. And anything else is welcome, like a Europa League win, even a Champions League win is welcome, but the ultimate aim is to win the league over PSG. And I chose Monaco because it's not a bad team, but it's also not the best team in the league. If I was to go with a team like, I was thinking about doing Lens or Lens, within 5 seasons, I think it would be too hard to win the league. It would be kind of an impossible challenge, I think, for a person of my standard of quality of football manager prowess, let's say. So I think Monaco is a good start to it, a good balance. It's a good team. It's expected to finish within the top 4, but it's not expected to win the league. And dismantling PSG over the league is a very hard ask, no matter what team you are in France. So, without further ado, let's get underway. But let's get a Guinness going. So we all love a Guinness. I'll show you boys how to pour a proper Guinness. So let's do it. Can't do a rebuild without Guinness. So you get the can. It's not in a Guinness pint glass, which is, you know, criminal, but it's a bit bubbly. If you can see that, it's a bit bubbly. So I'm just going to move my microphone. It's a bit bubbly, but this is how you do it. So you get the glass, put it on top, like so, and then you tilt the glass and pour it slowly. Raise the glass slowly, like so. Let me stop it about here. We're going to let it settle, and I'll be back once it's settled. That is how you pour a Guinness, by the way, folks, if you've got a can. Similar way to the actual draft, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'll see you at the tactics, see if we've got any transfers to do, quickly see how much budget we've got. We've got £25 million to spend in the first season, which is lovely stuff. So I will do some transfers then. I didn't think we would start with too much money, but we have, so we've got no wage budget, but that'd be fine. So without further ado, let's do tactics and transfers. Alrighty folks, transfers are done, and I think I've made pretty solid business for our first transfer window. So let's get into it. We start off with the signing of Mohsen Frundup from Genoa, 23-year-old midfielder who looks pretty well rounded. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this guy can get pretty good in FM, and I think we did need a midfielder, I think. So I think this suits us well. He can play DM or midfield, and I think this guy is just pretty good. He's a bit of a workhorse, as you can see, with the 17 work rate, so he's a bit of a workhorse. So that's the first one. And the second bit of business for £8 million is Bichabayu from Leipzig, who comes in initially to be backup, but I think this guy can have a view to be a major mainstay in the next few seasons. He's very fast, he's very strong, he's very tall, he's got very good determination. So I think this guy can be a very good centre back for us, just because of how tall he is, how strong he is, and how fast he is for a centre back. His heading is also pretty good, as well as his tackling. So I think this guy can be pretty good for us. And then our last bit of business is for £8.75 million is Junior Krupi, who I don't think I've actually used in FM before, but I know he can get pretty good. We signed him for £8.5 million, but we sent him straight on loan back to Lorient to give him the game time, because he probably doesn't get into the team just yet, so getting him that promised game time will be, I think, really ideal for us. He could play attacking mid or striker, so I'm pretty happy with that. But let's get into the tactics. We've got a bit rogue as well here. It's a bit of like a Christmas tree-esque sort of thing. So it's described as a 4-4-2. I'll start off with goal. We've got Cone in goal, Salisu and Teze as the 2 centre-backs. Salisu actually looks pretty solid. Again, like Bichabu, he's quite strong, he's tall, and he's quite fast, and he's got good marking and very good tackling. So I think this guy can be really good. He's also wanted by Wolves. I will be saying no to that. Then we've got Teze, who I'm not too keen about. He can play right back as well. He's quite fast. He's only 6 foot, which I don't really like in a centre-back. I prefer him to be way taller. He's got good passing, he's got good tackling, so he's not bad. He's not a bad player, but I'd much rather phase him out in favour of Bichabu is how I pronounce his name. Zakaria in the midfield is a ball-winning midfielder. Again, he's pretty solid for us. Vice captain, well-rounded, pretty fast as well. And then in the midfield, we've got Golovin as the Carrillo. So I think as a Carrillo, he's got to sort of maybe head a bit right on the wide as well to help cover for our lack of wingers there. And then we've got Freundrup as a box-to-box midfielder on support, who just tidy everything up and be solid. We've got Minamino in the attacking midfield. He doesn't look too bad, to be fair. He's not a well beater by any means, but I'm not sure how long he did last year. He's 29 years old, so hence why we signed Junior Krupi, who can play as an attacking midfielder. We've also got Ben Seguir as an attacking midfielder, who is only 19 years old and does also look pretty solid. Good dribbling and good determination, so that's one to keep an eye out for. And then the two strikers are, as an attacking forward, we've got Balogun, who is, we all know who he is. He's a pretty good striker. He's fast. He's got good finishing. So as a advanced forward, I think he'll do well in that role. But we've also got Breton Bolo as the pressing forward on attack, who we all know to be very, very strong with 17 strength. He's fast. He's got good finishing. I think he's going to be a real piece of work to deal with, especially being 6'2" as well. I think as a pressing forward, he's going to press the defence to make mistakes, and I think he's going to do that very well this season. So I really like him as a striker. So I'm very happy to have him here, especially with the two up front. We're obviously playing quite narrow. We're going to have underlap left and right on the strikers, and then focus play through the middle, sometimes maybe the right as well. And we'll walk the ball into the box, regroup, counter, distribute to playmaker, and we're going to play quite a high defensive line because our defence is quite quick, so I think we can get away with that. If we do concede a lot of goals, I will turn it down a bit, but I think I trust our centre-backs because they are quite fast for centre-backs. And I really like our wing backs. I wanted to play this formation because our wingers that we didn't really have many quality wingers. So we've got good wing backs, so I really want to use them. We've got Vanderson, who's fast, got really good crossing, got good natural fitness and stamina, which is important. And the same with Chao Enrique, who's also very fast and got very good crossing. So I think in these roles they're going to shine and get a lot of assists for us, and they pretty much are going to be our wingers. So it does leave us quite defensively vulnerable, I think, but we're trying to attack the league, we're not trying to defend the league, really, so that is the main premise. In terms of media predictions, we are expected to finish in 4th place, which for the first season I won't mind, but I'm a bit worried with this formation. It'll either work or it won't work, so if it doesn't work, we'll probably finish mid-table and be sacked, or if it does work, we'll cook and win the league first season. Maybe. Doubt it. But I'm really happy with the signings. I think we made pretty sensible signings, especially loaning out El Krupi. We've also loaned out George Ilikina to Paris FC in the 2nd division, who is a bit of a wonder kid in FM. He's valued very highly. He's got good finishing and decent enough pace. He's nowhere near ready first team yet, but I reckon in 2 seasons' time he could maybe feature for us. So excited to see how his loan goes. But other than that, let's get into season 1 and see how we do. Alright guys, this is the end of the first season and I think it's went pretty solid, finishing 4th place with 60 points, securing a Champions League spot. It's been a bit of a hit or miss season. It hasn't been amazing, but it hasn't been bad. I am unsure about our tactic. I think it's kind of working, but it's kind of not working. We are conceding a lot, but we aren't scoring too many still. Well, we are 4th in the most goals with 70, which is pretty good, but it's not incredible. We are not even in the list for fewest conceded, so in the top 8, so which means we have conceded quite a lot. So I'm unsure whether to stick with this tactic or just alter it a tiny bit. I did make it more attacking halfway through the season, which I think did work, but I ended up playing Bitshabu more often than not over Teze, just because I prefer him. Just a few updates. Mbolo has requested a transfer, which I'm not it's not the end of the world. We could replace him quite easily, I think. He is 28 years old, but he wants to leave to a bigger club, even though we are in the Champions League. Vanderson, on the other hand, is a little crybaby and wants to leave and been crying about it several times, trying to get the whole gang against me. He's staying because I just think he's a great player for us. I think he's quite irreplaceable for us. It's hard to find right backs like him. I will try, however, because I can't keep having an unhappy player on the team. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the team. We recalled Krupi in January because he wasn't playing in the 2nd division. But since we recalled him, he scored 7 goals and 4 assists. So that shows he's a good player, and he has done well for us, so I'm happy about that. In terms of goals and top scorers, Balogun finished with 23 and 4, and Bolo 16 and 8. Golovin 16 and 14 from midfield is incredible. Krupi again with 7 and 4. Bichibayo got 5 goals in 25 games. That's from centre back, which is pretty good. And Benziger from the bench got 4 goals and 8 assists, which again is really good for a backup player. So our backup players are scoring pretty well. Yeah, in terms of transfer budget, we've got £12 million. So considering we competed in the Champions League and secured it again, it's not the most amount of money we can possibly have, but I'm sure we can work around it. In terms of competitions, the Champions League was a disaster, really. If I show you the group stage, it was just terrible for us. We finished rock bottom with 1 point. It was a terrible showing from us. I don't know why it was so bad, but it just was. But the focus of the rebuild isn't the Champions League, it is the league title. We did beat PSG to win the Trophy de Champion. I'm not actually entirely sure what it is, whether it's their version of the Community Shield, but we beat them 3-1, so that's pretty good going. French Cup, we were knocked out in the 11th round. So yeah, that is it for the first season. It's not a terrible first season. We're showing promise. So with a few more acquisitions, I think we'll do well. I think I'm looking at obviously replacing Mbolo at front, but I think our priority is goalkeeper, as Cone is our starting goalkeeper, and he seems to be really injury prone, even if he's not labelled as it. But he's not the best, and he keeps just getting injured. We do have quite a good goalkeeper through the academy called Pierce Boyer, but he's not quite there yet, and I don't think he ever will be during the rebuild. So I can't exactly rely on him. We've got this guy through the youth academy, who looks pretty good. Got a good finishing, decent enough pace, good determination. So maybe he can feature at one point down the line. But yeah, I'll do transfers for the second season. We're not the biggest transfer budget, but with a few sales, I'm sure we can get going in the transfer window. So let's get into it. Alright guys, season 2 is ready to go underway. We have made our transfers, and I have to say, I think I've been pretty busy in the transfer window, and I think we made some pretty solid signings for us. So without further ado, let's get into it. We started off business signing our new goalkeeper, Guilherme Restes, the 20-year-old from Toulouse. He comes in as a backup, but he's going to be our starting goalkeeper because I know this guy can become an absolute beast on FM, and I don't think we'll be needing to buy another keeper throughout the save, especially if we've only got 5 seasons, and only 4 left. So I think this guy's going to be really good. He's got very high determination. He's very well-rounded as a goalkeeper, so I think that's a smart pickup, and it isn't a throw-the-bottle save if we haven't signed Sevilla Hassaf Naipan for only, again, £2 million to be a squad player as well. Right, now, okay, I appreciate it's boring signing him every single time, but every time I'm looking at him, I'm like, don't sign him, don't sign him, don't sign him. Then I always sign him because it's £2 million and he wanted to come to us, and he could just become such a good player for us. And with the ultimate game to beat PSG to the league title, we need to make boring signings. We need to make signings where we know the players are going to be good, so we know it will give us a chance to win the title. So that's why I've done it. I appreciate it's boring because I think I've saved him. I think it's the 3rd time I've saved him in a rebuild that I've posted on the channel. So we're all familiar with him. We all know he become a world beater. So let's move on from that. Again, we signed him for £2.6 million. So, why not? And then our big money signing is Kenan Yildiz from Juventus for £21 million, 20-year-old wonder kid to go up front, can play in the cam as well. Looks very good at 20 years old, good finishing, good dribbling, good determination and decent enough pace and decent enough composure and technique as well. This guy will be our striker for the remainder of the rebuild, I reckon. I've never signed him as well, so it's a good signing for me, I think. You'll understand why I signed him in a few minutes when we get to the outgoings. We signed Moreira for £6.5 million from Brazilian team SBO. I don't actually know what the full name is, but SBO from Brazil. He looks pretty good, to be fair. Can play left back or right back. He comes in as an important player. I wanted him to be coming in as a squad player, but he just wouldn't accept it. So he's coming in as an important player, but he's not. He's going to be a squad player because he doesn't get in over Vanson. But if Vanson does leave, which he wants to, then we've got a ready-made replacement who's fast. Not as good crossing as Vanson, but he's only 21 years old as well. So I think this is quite a good pickup. He just might get, I'd envision him getting quite upset because we probably won't be playing him as much as he'd like. And then finally, for £3 million, which I thought was a really good price for this player, is Scott McTominay from Napoli, who didn't feature all that much for Napoli, only making 4 appearances last season. But I mean, look, he's a very round-rounded and can play anywhere across the middle. Really, he can play centre back, midfield, DM, midfield, cam, striker. He's a very versatile player for us. He's got really good finishing as well. He's decently fast as well. He's got very good stats, and he comes in a squad player. But I'm actually tempted to start him over Frundrup. Shush, sorry about that. I'm very much tempted to start him over Frundrup, but we'll see how that goes. He comes in a squad player, so hopefully, no matter what happens, he won't get too aggrieved by his lack of game time if he does get a lack of game time. Then in terms of outgoings, we did lose Imbolo to Aston Villa for £13 million, which I thought was a good price. He wanted to leave at the end of the season, so it was either he runs down his contract or we sell him so we can get some money, and we sold him. Hence why we signed Yildiz. I don't know why he wanted to leave, because we've gone to the Champions League, so I thought maybe we'd have a chance of keeping him. But he's 28 years old, so it was a good striker for us, but it's not the end of the world losing him. And in terms of other outgoings, there's nothing crazy to talk about, so that is it in terms of transfers. Tactics-wise, we'll stick with the same formation. I'll give up all my season to see how we do with it, just to test it out. So in goal, we've got a new guy, Restes. Centre-backs are the same in Salisu, Bitshabi. CDM is Takaria. Midfielders, Golovin and Frindrup for now. We'll see what happens with McTominay. Krupi is the attacking midfielder, Balogun as the pressing forward, and Yildiz will be the advanced forward. And then we've got the same fullbacks of Vanderson and Xiao Enrique to bomb up the wing and give and assist the 2 front men. I really like our team. I think we've built a really strong team with a lot of good potential. So again, I'm probably expecting to finish around 4th this season, and then maybe gives us the next 3 seasons to actually try and make an attempt for the league title. And especially with another transfer window down, I think we could actually have got a good shout of doing it. Depends what happens, really. I think we have made some good signings. Next season, in terms of my long-term plans, Golovin is getting on a bit. He's 29 and will be turning 30, but he has been really good for us, so maybe think about replacing him next season. But ideally, I probably will be getting a new centre-back in, probably for Salisu. I think I'm going to keep Bitshabi because he does look like he's got good potential and can improve a lot more. He's only 20 years old. So that is it in terms of the tactics. Season preview has us to finish in 3rd place, which I think will be very good for us. As you can see, the best 11 is all PSG players. PSG are 3-1 to win the league, which I imagine they probably will. So yeah, I am ready to get into Season 2. I'm quite excited about this season, quite optimistic, but we shall see. So let's get right to business. Hello guys, and welcome back to Season 2, the end of Season 2. And in terms of the league, it was a pretty dismal showing for us, only finishing in 8th place. Our tactics just did not seem to work, really. We really had a very defensively bad season, I think. But there are highlights of the season, as we did win the Europa League against Napoli 1-0. I'll show you how that all went on, how we got to the Europa League final, and all that stuff. We got to the Europa League for a torrid time in the qualifying round of the Champions League, where we lost to Benfica quite convincingly. So in the league phase, the Europa League, we started off with a 1-0 win over Girona, 3-1 loss to Roma, 3-0 draw with Kiev, 2-1 win over Twente, and a loss to Celtic. Shakhtar we beat 3-0, Transport 1-0, Genk 1-1, and then it got to the playoff first round, where we played Dynamo Kiev again, beat them in both rounds. Then in the round of 16, we drew 3-0 at home to Salzburg, to then beat them 3-1 away. To then in the quarterfinals, we played Wolfsburg and we won 3-1 in both legs. Then in the semi-final, we played Roma, who we lost to at the start of the Europa League phase. We beat them 1-0 at home and then drew 1-0 away to ensure we get to the final, to then beat Napoli thanks to a goal from Balogun. So that is pretty good, but the ultimate aim is to win the title of the PSG, and they have run away with it, and we are in 8th. So not really what we want 2 seasons in, but I mean, still early into the real world, so we've still got 3 seasons left to gauge our way into the top 2, to challenge for the top. In terms of transfer budget, we've only got 6 mil to spend for next season, which isn't ideal, considering we've qualified for the Champions League, so we can't really do all that much with 6 mil to spend. So we might see some outgoings or not. In terms of squad and goals, Balogun finished with 28 goals and 6 assists. Yildiz, his first season, ended with 23 goals and 3 assists, which is very good. Karipi finished with 18 and 9. Golovin 10 and 12. And so on and so forth. So goals, I think, were pretty good. If we're third for the most goals with 76 goals, which is pretty impressive. We still aren't in the fewest conceders, so that is where our problem lies. I did change tactic, so we started off with this, but then we ended up going to this one, which I used in my Den Haag save. Didn't really work out that well, so we ended up going to this one, kind of a 4-2-4 with a Mizala and a DM. I think we got a bit more better results out of that, so I think I'll be planning next season on this formation. Karipi isn't really a right winger, but I'm happy to play him on the right wing. He did well there, getting 18 goals and 9 assists. And then we've got Golovin on the left. I'll kind of be looking to sign a more dynamic left winger than Golovin, even though Golovin is quite a good player for us. It has been for the last 2 seasons. So we'll see what happens. In terms of outgoing throughout the season, we did sell Moreira after only signing him this season. He only played 8 times and he got angry, so I was like, I'll sell him. I think we've got a bit of profit on him. Yeah, we got 4 mil profit on him, so I wasn't too displeased about that. So yeah, I am ready for next season. Try and do as much we can in the transfer window with a little budget. Ideally, I want a new centre back because the centre backs it's probably our weakest point, or maybe a left winger. But we probably have to focus one or the other, unless we have sort of major outgoings. I did sign Timothy Weah in January just because we did change to a winger formation in January, so it's just get cover. And he did alright, getting 6 goals and 3 assists, but he's purely a backup player really. But yeah, so let's get into the third season where hopefully we need to improve on our league standing. The Champions League isn't really a worry, and we have been atrocious in the Champions League the last 2 seasons, so it's just a distraction if anything. So yeah, I'll see you to it. Alrighty guys, we are at the start of the new season. We played a few games done, but transfers have been made, so let's get into them. Wasn't all that busy at all really in the transfer window. Obviously we had quite little money, so couldn't really do all that much. We did spend 23 million altogether. First signing being for £7.75 million from FC Porto is Francisco Coensao, who comes in and can play on both wings. Will play on the left wing for us. He's not like, in terms of star ratings and value, he's not a world beater, but his stats are great. He's fast. He's got 19 flair. He's got great dribbling and decent crossing. I think he could be a really tidy and fun player for us in this save. So that is our first signing. And then our second signing is for £7 million from Leipzig, Antonio Nusa, to come in as a backup right winger or left winger. We all know if you start him off with a save and he gets the game time, he can become a beast, but hasn't quite worked out for him at Leipzig. Only played 1 game in total for Leipzig, so hasn't really had the game time he deserves. But he's got decent stats to be a backup. And then for £8.75 million from Zenit Petersburg, we signed Strahina Irakovic, the Serbian centre-back, comes in to be our starting right centre-back. He looks pretty solid for 16 tackling and decent enough pace, and really good marking as well. So he comes in to be a solid centre-back. And in terms of outgoings, in terms of like money outgoings, we sold Tilo Kehrer to Sporting Lisbon for £7.25 million. We did get rid of Wilfred Singo to Forest for £23 million. Our backup keeper's gone to Everton on a loan, I think, with an option to buy. And that is it in terms of like major outgoings. So this is the tactic. Same 2 up front, Yildiz and Balogun. Karipi on the right, Coensao on the left, Naipan as Mazzala and Zakaria on the right. And then our defence is Chao Enrique, Salisu, Erakovic and Vanderson as the back line, and Restes in goal. Obviously, we're missing out Golovin, who probably is our best player. We will have to find a way in the team because we can't really play without Golovin, so that's probably the only selection dilemma we have. Whether we rotate between Naipan and Golovin for games, it's probably the smartest bet, or on the left wing as well. We have played a couple of games. We started off with a 2-0 loss to Nantes, which is pretty disappointing. Then a 5-3 defeat in the Super Cup to Liverpool. Beat Rennes 4-1, drew 4-0 to Lyon, and won 4-0 to Brest. So it's not the worst start, which puts us 6th in the league. Tell you what though, we have been very close the last 2 seasons be getting sacked. At the start of the season, I said I'll give them I asked them to give me a month so they don't sack me, and they're pretty much gagging to sack me. So it is what it is. Hopefully I won't get sacked, but considering I just won a Europa League with them, I think that's a bit harsh. In truth, season preview predicts us to finish in 3rd place, which I will take, fair, because last season wasn't exactly promising, and we're still trying to obviously battle PSG for the title, but I don't think that's going to happen this season. But let's find out and get into it. So season number 3, ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the season is finished and we have done it. We have won the league over PSG in the 3rd season, I believe. We won the league on 83 points, 3 points better than PSG, with a very remarkable season, really. Scored 101 goals and only conceded 37, which is still not that little, but a truly amazing season, and the signings I made paid off. So let's get into it. Let's get into the squad goals. Fuller Bergen had an unreal season, scoring 28 goals and 6 assists. Yildiz getting 19 goals, 16 assists. Timothy Weah, 14 goals and 11 assists. Junior Krupi with 12 goals and 11 assists. And I told you about this guy, Francisco Coensao. He's always a cheap pickup on FM. I always get him in the 2nd, 3rd season sometimes, and he's always like 2 million, whatever, cheap. And he got for me 10 goals and 19 assists, which is insane. 19 assists is incredible. Everyone had a very good season. Our backup centre back got 8 goals. It's just incredible. Yeah, Coensao, I love him. He's never rated too high, and he never does too well on for other teams. But whenever I play him, he's incredible. He just gets assists. He's an assist king. So I'm very happy that he worked out for us, only buying him for £7 million. But yeah, we had the season of our life. Like, if it goes to overview, we the 2nd most goals, only by 1. We actually do feature on the fewest conceded, being 3rd in that, and we're normally not even in this list. So our defence has improved since the signing of Urkovic when we signed at the start of the season. Our signings just really gelled really well. He started most matches, and he was just way more solid than the previous partnership we had. And a lot of the team we have are still like the OGs. Like Balogun was here, Zakaria was here from the start, Vanderson, Salisu, and Sharon Enrique, and Golovin has played a big part as well, who was here at the start. So it's not like we completely overhauled the team. We've improved it with youth and talent, but it's really worked. So guys, I am happy. I'm happy. We were knocked out in the round of 16 by Arsenal in the Champions League. Got to the quarter-final of the French Cup, but we achieved our ultimate aim, and we have toppled PSG to the league. We did the double over PSG as well. If you look at our schedule, we went unbeaten for so long. In this little period here, unbeaten. We were just solid. We went on such a big unbeaten streak, getting some big wins against Lille, beating PSG 2-1, beat PSG away as well 2-1. We did lose 6-0 in the second leg to Arsenal, where we beat them 3-1 in the first leg. Beat Reims 7-0. We beat Strasbourg 6-2, who are pretty good in the save. Yeah, it's been an incredible season, and didn't expect to do it in the 3rd season. This is the 1st season where we've truly challenged the top 4, let alone the top 2, and then we go out and win it. So happy days. This rebuild was a success. We also won a Europa League on the way to it as well. So if you guys did enjoy this rebuild, like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.